bless his holy name. Bless the Lord, oh my soul, forget not all his benefits. He forgives all your sin, he heals all your brokenness. He redeems your life from the pit, crowns you with mercy, crowns you with love. Slow to anger, rich in love, his compassion rises like the sun from the heavens high above. Great is his love for everyone. Bless the Lord, oh my soul, every heart be given him praise. As far as the east from the west, he has carried my sins away. Bless the Lord, oh my soul, let his mercy cover the night. From everlasting to everlasting, his kingdom rules in light. Justice for all who are oppressed. He made his ways known to Moses, his acts to the children of Israel. As the Father has compassion on the children that he loves, so the Lord shows compassion to the ones who fear his name. He remembers me. Our days are like the grass, but his mercy never fades. His faithfulness will last. Bless the Lord, oh my soul, every heart be given him praise. As far as the east from the west, he has carried my sins away. Bless the Lord, oh my soul, let his mercy cover the night. From everlasting to everlasting, his kingdom rules in light.
I was singing mercy and justice to you, oh Lord, I'll make my song. I'll walk within my house with honor and keep my heart from doing wrong. I will say no wicked thing before my eyes are in my way. The proud will not endure with me. Truth and love will light my day. I'll stand in faith, I'll stand in grace, in purity before your face. I'll guard my steps, I'll guard my gate. My heart and soul will celebrate. I will sing of your mercy, I will dance to your justice, in the rhythm of your glory. My heart beats in your promise,
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Welcome to Wednesday morning. Glad that you're here this morning. God bless you. Welcome to the Purpose Driven Trading live stream. Well. Let's we're going to go ahead and get settled here. I'm going to get my stuff open. My account's ready to go, and then we'll take a look at the market. How's everybody doing this morning? Wawa, good morning. Wollaston, good morning. Did I say that right? Wollaston, Swollaston. Either way, glad you're here. All right, good. Good morning, Natalie. Had a good trading day yesterday. Ended green on the day. Nice 150 point trade. Great 150 point trade. Getting my stuff set up here. Give me a few moments. Today we're going to be trading. Decided to get some more evaluation accounts, so we're going to be trading some evaluation accounts today. Good morning, Carlos. Good morning, John. Andre. Georgette, good morning. Octavian. Good morning. What's up, Ted? How you doing? All right, so from a higher time frame perspective, market is opening in 3 minutes. I'm looking here at my Ninja Trader. It looks like they came out with a new lockout feature for your evaluation accounts. That's nice. Make some money, lock it out, be done. But from a weekly perspective, we have ran the previous week low here, and we've reached into the weekly fair value gap and have a reaction to it. I'm anticipating we're going to close bearish this week. We're at the midpoint of the week, so I think our low is pretty much set for the week. I'm going to anticipate our low is set for the week. So from a daily perspective, that means previous day low I'm not interested in. I'm looking more so for either consolidation or retracement back up into this range. I'm anticipating that the daily fair value gaps are going to hold and the weekly fair value gap is going to hold as well. Now, the moment the market shows us otherwise, I will consider shorts, but until then, I think that's the position I'm going to hold. Dropping it down to the 4-hour, you can see the overlapping 4-hour range right here, and then we have a 4-hour fair value gap up here. You can see our new week opening gap is also sitting up here that we went through. And we are inside of the London range right now, dropping down to nothing major that I can mark here, except for we'll mark this 4-hour fair value gap. That makes sense. It's right in line with this order block or this consolidation move higher. It's considered a breaker as well. We got our high, our low, our higher high. So price could come back up to this 4-hour fair value gap in that light. We also have, this looks nice. I like this a lot. I like the idea of price moving up to this area. So that's kind of the direction I'm going to be looking for the retag of the new week opening gap, which is in line with the breaker and that volume imbalance. From an hourly perspective, you can see that we did reach up to this hourly fair value gap, which I anticipated we were going to at some point. We did it yesterday at 7 p.m. I do see evidence for us to run lower as well. So we'll see what the market wants to do here in the first 15 minutes. Let's go ahead and open in prayer. Oh, Lord, thank you for another day. Thank you for your provision. Father, we honor you. And as we talked about on Monday, we thank you for that you've given us a spirit, a courageous spirit, one to walk with you in the midst of our enemies. Father, I thank you that you direct our steps, that you formed us in our mother's womb before time even began. Father, you knew what you had in store for us. So, Father, we just ask that you direct our steps today. Would you be with us as we sit here on the charts? Would you give us insight and wisdom? In Jesus' name, amen. All right. So, we are going to be doing some evaluations. If the market's looking really good, I might switch over to a funded account. We've had quite a bit, we've had a lot of selling off here. So because of all the selling off, I just wanted to give them a rest after that green day yesterday. All right, so from an hourly perspective, we marked out those levels. Let's drop down to the 15-minute and see what we got going on as far as structure and opportunities. London high has been ran. London low is there. Midnight open is down here. And it's right in line with our order block. You see that? The daily order block right there. That's also in line with our midnight open. The daily order block. The daily candle. Interesting. And it's untagged. So maybe we anticipate that being left. We'll see what price wants to do here. There's where I'll do my executions this morning. I believe we had some news today. Or have. Today is Wednesday. We have FOMC statements at 1. Meh, we're good.
Order submitted.
I'm going to break my rule on my evaluation accounts, and I'm going to see if this fair value gap wants to hold for a long. It's also, this fair value gap is in line with a breaker right at 930, and we have some low resistance liquidity here that I was interested in. So we're going to take a long right off the open here. Not something I normally do, but the structure looks good. If it fails the 930, then we close the position. Make that be our stop. right there. If it comes back down any lower,
Order submitted.
we'll close that position there. If it runs this low, I'm going to go ahead and cut it. Yeah, I think I'll cut it right there. All right. That didn't play out the way I wanted it. It was worth a shot. Got 5 more minutes till the first 15-minute candle. Oh yeah. Music would be nice, huh? What's up, J Trades? How you doing? 2 more minutes. Yeah, they're really inexpensive. I personally don't use them. I haven't, but I have a handful of people that really like them. Just hanging around the 930 level here. Inside of this consolidation right here. Good morning, Gianna. Might as well try this. Again, I'm working with an eval here, so I'm a little looser on my decisions here. But I'm going to take this breaker short to London low. We're going to see if it wants to go. like the consolidation of that candle there. We need to see an expansion through this low right now. We are inside of the low of a fair value gap range. See if we can push through this here. I really want to see expansion right now. Should see one more push right here. There's a internal low right here. Yeah, we just hit it. Just about hit it. This is what I'm watching, that internal low. We need to push it right now to there. If we don't, I'll close. Finish it. There it is. All right, guys. Woo! Nice little trade there. That was for 100 and we got in at 850. That's for 112 points. What do you guys think? Not a bad setup. What's wrong with the sound? Too low. Is that better? Can you hear me now? Don't worry. It's just right in front of my screen, so I can't see anything. Actually, I can't really turn it up. If I turn it up any higher, it's going to be peaking. Try this. We'll try that. All right, so we had a 112 point trade right off this breaker to the downside to London low. I tried the long here. Nope, it didn't want to give it to us. So what do? We just go the other direction. Probably going to see a continuation lower. Do we want to try a continuation? I don't want to play continuation here because it's London low and midnight open right here. We just tagged midnight open. We'll let it do its thing. I've had my narrative that we weren't going to hit a previous day low. I mean, I could be wrong, so I'm not saying I have it figured out. If we look at the monthly price, we're in a monthly fair value gap. We've inversed a monthly, and we've tagged the other monthly. I really don't know what this red line's for. Just delete it. So, in my opinion, the monthly objective is complete. We've inversed and we've tagged here. We might even retrace back up to here before August 1st. So I think the objective to the downside has been completed. That's why I'm posturing myself with that mentality. Is we have hit the weekly. The next point is a weekly low. So downside objective in my mind is complete. Sure, if we want to run and sweep the previous day low, okay. We could sweep the previous day low and make Wednesday our low of day. That's reasonable. So we make Wednesday low of day and then we come back up into the range, and I think this is what we're gonna do for the rest of the week. Okay, so that's reasonable. We could go to previous day low. I need a Barry White. That's the I'm dreaming of a white Christmas guy, right? I'm not up to speed on my famous people. Pop knowledge. Give me Pop Jesus and I'll slay it. You know what I'm saying? All right, hourly. Meh. Continue, make a higher low here. What do you think? 15 minute. Let's see how this 15-minute closes. This close right here is going to be big in 2 minutes. Right there. My guess is we're going to close above it. And I'm willing to take a long for that, to be honest. No, I saw that. I think we'll hit that next week. I don't think I mean, maybe we could. Here's the weekly that he's referring to. That's the weekly midpoint. So, from this entire range, that's 50% of it. I think we're gonna go down there, but I think the daily and the weekly objective are complete here, guys. That's what I think. Did we inverse that? No, we haven't. We haven't inversed it, but we did close inside that 15-minute. That's a big deal. So we could get another run lower, but I think we're gonna end up going this direction. Technically, this inversion doesn't count until we reach there, because there's a volume imbalance. So the risk to reward on this is pretty poor, but I mean, it probably will play out. Since it's an eval, I'll probably try it if it doesn't hit that high. Oh my gosh, I was about to click it and then it slips right underneath it. You see that? See that? Just slips right underneath it. Doing me dirty. We got a daily affirmation for you guys here today. We'll do our daily affirmations. I shouldn't say daily because I haven't been super consistent with it. We should say weekly affirmations probably. Is this where we use the fib tool? It depends on what you're referring to. Fib tool to go short, to go long. Look for a retracement level. You could anchor it one there and one here and look for it to drop to there. We were trying to take a long, just didn't have an opportunity to because it didn't give us the close without sweeping that high. So target's already hit, no trade. There's the close after it hit the high. Oh, I could have done the 2 minute. 2 minute right there. Nah, I wouldn't have done that because of that 1 minute fair value gap. No. I want to use the fib tool to determine where we're going short. The best way to use the Fibonacci tool is to target the 50% and the 75% levels. Why? Take a look at this run right here. If I anchor this to the high, into the low of it, look what we hit. We hit 50% and then we sell off. Okay, so now let's anchor it to this high right here where we dropped, all the way down to where we dropped to. Here's 50% right here. Okay, we are reaching for 50% right now. There's the 50%. So what does this mean? It means not that you just automatically go short, but you watch how it reacts to this level. If we start consolidating, we start getting wicks here, and there's reason for us to go lower, then you can consider going lower. In this case, I'm not interested in lower, so I wouldn't use this. So that's, you have to be in line of where you think price is actually going to go. I don't think it's going lower. If you do think it's going lower right now, then you can do it this way. You can draw a anchor to this high and to this low, the manipulation leg, and you can do target fibs and to see where one standard deviation is. Oh, look where one standard deviation is. Right where we stopped. The next is, where's the second? Second's down here. So we could potentially go down here, but all of the interest that I wanted was right around here. So we'll see. If it starts showing willingness to move lower, then you can use that as a potential level. I don't use these as much. I'd rather use the previous day low at 1.5 because it's a major key level, right? All right, so see how we've resisted there on the 50% of this range here. Okay, so that's worth taking a look at. How would I handle this? I probably would use it as a breaker. So we have a high, low, higher high. If we come back up into this fair value gap right here and stop, you could use this as an entry to go lower. But right now, I'm really thinking this is a failure swing. Look how it stops at midnight open, and then we're getting a wick. Let's see how it closes. We don't want to jump into anything right here. We're also inside this fair inversion. I'm going to take a long here. Inside of this inversion fair value gap, it could wick down into here, but the risk is relatively low for it to come back all the way up here. Stop would be just at the lows here. That's not my stop. There we go. This inversion is really, if we close below the inversion, I'll probably close the position. I want to allow it also to potentially reach to here. So that's why I have my stop down here. But I can adjust and close it how I want. Again, for those joining, this is This is an evaluation account. These are eval accounts. Okay, so there's that fair value gap I wanted to allow it to tag. I need a green candle. Come on. Still finding support at midnight open here. Here's my green candle. Now, more important than the first green candle is the second green candle. I want to see a second in a row. That's what I prefer. That's like my hint that we really are going to move higher. But if it goes red, green, red, and it looks like that, it could hurt. Yeah, it's gonna hurt. All right, stopped out. Didn't lose all my profits from that previous trade, but lost a chunk of it. I was wrong. I wanted to see it bounce right here. Because ES also ran the previous day low. Guess we want to go to the previous day low. Is this red level here? All right, it's a wickless candle. I think we might actually go there. New 15-minute candle here in 16 seconds. bet. Take care. See this second, we want a second candle is typically meaning we might push higher here. But with a draw, potential draw like this, it can fail all the time. So here we ran that low right there. How much money do you need to pass the evaluation? 3,000. We have a breaker right here. This breaker, high, low, higher, high, breaker to the lows. That's kind of what's looking like it's going to happen. I would like to know how long fair value gaps are valid. Well, this fair value gap, since we closed underneath it, I personally would probably just not consider it as much. That fair value gap's valid. It could retag it for sure. So that's why I don't pull it off. Because it's also between the London low and midnight open. So all of those factors could also play into its validity. They're not a major point of interest. Yeah. I wouldn't consider them a major point of interest. But they can still have importance and value. I have some Apex evals and some Take Profit Trader evals. Thought about getting a Lucid eval. Does the TTJ code on TP remove the account connection fee? Yes. Yes, sir, it does. It will always give you the best discount that's available. For Take Profit Trader, for Apex, for Lucid, Tradeify. All right, let's see if it runs this slow here. Alright, there's the tag of the London or the daily previous day low. I'm guessing we should get some type of push through this level here, most likely. Main reason is I'm looking at this as potential to target. There's the push. That candle right there. There it is. We just tagged it. We're about to tag it on ES. Is it gonna make equal lows? It's gonna do one of those things on us. Here we go. Let's get a push right here. I don't have any outside of this. I don't have any other downside targets. It's also a volume imbalance right there on the hourly. The next 4-hour low is way down here. Watch this daily low, see how we react here to see if it wants to push lower. Sometimes ES is it's annoying because many times I'll see it make equal lows all the time. They'll just make equal lows and just leave them. Like right there. See that? It made equal highs right here. Technically it did sweep it by like a tick, but I'm gonna take a stab right here to see if it wants to push back lower. Resistance on the previous day low right here. I'm gonna keep my stop tight in case it keeps pushing higher, because it could. But I'm looking at ES wanting to push down into those equal lows. That's really what I'm looking at. That's the logic for me. It's going to turn on ES, it's going to turn right here. Or if it doesn't, it just pushes through it, and that means I need to close it. we're going to close this. Give me a red candle here. That'd be nice. Okay. See if we can get a second red candle. Just go all the way. Just do it. If ES hits its low or a break sweeps that, that's when I'll close the position. If it continues to move lower, that is. I needed to get through the previous day low level again. Show me its willingness to push underneath it and find it as resistance. But if we keep bouncing off of it, that's not what I want to see. Oh, give me a break. Come on, ES. Show me it. Might close this. If it's not going to go anymore here, I need to see it. I want to see an expansion candle here. It's been too many wicks just wicking lower. If that turns into a wick, I'm closing it. Yeah, I'm going to close it at break even for right now. And then here's probably where it drops. I'll let it reach up a little bit higher. I'll skip that one. I don't need to trade everything. I can't see my stop loss and take profit section after trade. What to do? Sorry, I don't understand. Oh, here it goes. If we get pretty close, I might just do a quick scalp. See if it goes here. There. One more push. One more push. Give me one more. Give me one more push. There it is. All right. Quick little scalp there. Watching ES run that low. I closed it as soon as it popped it. Yeah, I'm on TradingView. Inversion here, I would take that, to be honest with you. Now that we've swept the low, I'm not a fan of the time. I probably would wait 5 more minutes. You know what? I'm gonna wait a couple minutes. I'm gonna use the restroom, wait a couple minutes, and then we'll look. I'm placing market orders. I'm not reading the whole message. That's why I'm answering questions that are meant for other people. Luca, what strategies do you recommend to get someone to the next level and understanding the market better, where their trades become more predictions than guesses? It's not a strategy. If you're thinking of a strategy like a model, the strategy needs to be learning how to read higher time frame to lower time frame. So I still want this low to be the low of day. So I'm still interested in prices coming up and consolidating because we hit a weekly, daily, inverse for a monthly. So I'm still interested in price finding support here. So that's my idea. How is that going to happen? So we go down to lower time frames and we look, is there any opportunity for us to find those opportunities? The only thing right now that's giving me proof that that could happen is this level right here that we marked. ES hitting this level here, there's nothing else for ES to hit. That's it. Unless it wants to go all the way down here, then my idea would be wrong. So around those levels, now I'll go to the lower time frame and say, okay, what if my idea is right? Where would my model present itself? Well, there's two models that I trade, inversions and breakers. Here's inversion. Here's model number one, inversions. If it aggressively moves in this direction after hitting those key levels, I would be interested in taking it to here. My model number two, breaker, low, high, lower, low. We break higher above it, We come down, find support maybe around the previous day. I like that idea, and it takes off from there. I like that idea. So my narrative is for higher prices. I trade that idea because that's what I think. Now, when we were taking these shorts, why did we take the short? Because I felt like we were going to run for London low. So I took a trade based on a breaker, high, low, higher, high. We took the breaker there, and it dropped down to London low. I called out this breaker, high, low, higher, high, and it went lower. I wanted it to go long. So did I take a trade with you guys here? I didn't. Because I wanted to see higher prices. So I missed basically all of this for the most part. I did a small scalp right here. Because my narrative that I want to see is for higher prices. So hypothetically, when your narrative doesn't play out, you shouldn't be trading. Or you change your narrative and your bias and you stick with that change. This is relatively low risk for me. It's against the trend, but I wouldn't mind taking it. We're also in the right time where I think we could get a retracement. The last 10 minutes. I'm actually going to take a long right here. Anticipating that we close above it. Anticipating that the last 10 minutes we want to create the wick, so we're going to move back up on these higher time frame candles. Okay, so there's the close, there's the inversion. Now I'm in the trade officially. I would want to see it up to, right now it need to be this internal swing high at 1036. So it'd be right there. Your stop is technically a close below this red box. Let's see if we have a 2-minute here. There is a 2-minute that looks better. Right there. So we want to see it confirm our idea by this 2-minute closing above there. If it doesn't, then that's not in our favor. And it doesn't look like it is. One minute, it's pushing higher now. Now, I'm not going to get out of a trade because the 2-minute didn't do it and I got in on the 1-minute. I got in on the 1-minute, so my analysis now needs to be on the 1-minute. I'm going to use the 2-minute for confirmations and things like that, but I'm not going to get out of a trade unless I'm convinced otherwise. So what do we have right here? Previous day low. We have to push through that. I need to see a willingness to get above that. But if we continue to get wicks above that, wicks around here, that's not good. I like that. See how we get that pump right there? Okay. So our initial target is right here. We'll take 1 micro off there just for education purposes, okay? So we're going to take 1 off there, but honestly, I would like us to reach up here. Let's see if we can get it. See how it closed? It didn't close above previous day low. It's still, bodies are staying underneath there. All right, here I want to see a push. And see how it's the next candle closed below the daily fair value gap or the daily low. Another thing that I don't like. Those aren't signs I like to see. The 2-minute did close above it. The 3-minute closed above it. 4-minute, we have a minute left to see if it closes above this fair value gap. That's going to also be a great sign that we are on the right direction. That's the 4. And then do we have a 5-minute? We don't have a 5-minute. So 4-minute is highest we can go right now. 28 seconds. Let's see if that closes and see what it gives us here. Not what I want to see. One minute did not close below there. The question is do I want to hold it and see if it survives? I will, because we have a fair value gap here, and it might be just reaching for that real quick and then give us a nice aggressive move the other direction. I've gotten 3 spam calls in the last 3 minutes, guys. My phone, I get so annoyed. I get so many spam calls. All right, so we still are respecting this 1 minute fair value gap that we took our long on, and technically there's a volume imbalance right here, so we should expand it to that volume imbalance right there. But if we have hit the low, this should find good support and we should push right up through this. Those are a lot of ifs. A lot of ifs, ands. All right, so there's officially our close below. This is where we would consider closing it. I'm going to give it one last shot, see if it wants to push. And if we run through this low, then I would close the position. It'd be right there. Go. Oh, give me a break. All right, stop is set at that swing low. We're gonna let this pump. Hopefully we get a nice push right here. Here we go. Let's get a nice little tag on this swing high. It looks like it's going to push right through. To be honest with you, I might even consider moving this because if we're going to run this high, we should run the rest of these swing highs. But I'll watch it carefully, and we might take a quick TP. But I like the way these candles, as long as we get a full-bodied candle here, I'm probably going to let it run. Why not? Oh, I don't like that. But we'll let it play. And our first TP section is going to be right at 27,624. Let's see if it hits. We're almost there. All right, I will go ahead and take a TP there with one contract. I have 4 left. I don't like these wicks. Stoppage should be moved to break. I'm going to close it at break even there because we hit the TP and we immediately drop back down to my break even. So I'm going to go ahead and close it so I don't take a loss on anything here. That was 10 o'clock though. Or that was 11 o'clock. I might re-enter this. But I need a different reason to get in. We have the 4-minute it closed. So we could get in right here for the 4-minute inversion. That's not unreasonable. It's only 15 points. Sure, I'm gonna get in. I like the strength we're seeing. I'm gonna get in based on this 4-minute right here and re-enter and see if we can swing up to here. So we are entered right around there. Targets that swing high. We'll take 2 off there if we can get to it. This 4-minute close is going to be a big deal. That means we're closing above the down close candles here. If we can get here in the next 45 seconds. So let's see how that plays out. We're going to take 2 contracts off at the swing high. There's the close. Let's jump up to the 5 minute. Got another 50 seconds before it closes above its down close candles. That's our next thing that I'd want to see. Everything's been mitigated on the 1 minute time frame on our way up. Every fair value gap has been tagged. So there's technically, outside of this one that we just tagged right now. Whoops. Except for this fair value gap right there. So we'll let it tag that one. And I do want to see it hit this. Because we also have a fair value gap up here that's untagged. A SIBI that I think would be nice for it to hit. The 5 minute hit. 5 minute hit. It is inside a 5 minute fair value gap. I didn't see this. See that 5 minute fair value gap? Darn it. Oh, I was wrong on that. Let's get through this high into this fair value gap right here. That's what I want to see. One more push. Come on. Give me a nice little push right here into that fair value gap. One more. All right, there's TP1. I'm going to take 5 off there. I got 3 left. There's the fair value gap that I wanted to see tagged. We'll take another contract off there. If you wondered why I'm moving to break even, I stopped out. I'm stopping out. If you wondered why my level was always moving up, I added to the position. I added 5 more contracts. So I think this is probably where I'm going to end today. I'm up about, again, this is eval trading. I'm up about $950. Yeah, we're probably going to pump here. It's just given its time here, and then at some point just going to push up here to probably midnight open. You bet, Tyler. Yeah, we're going to call it a day trading here. Let me do the daily affirmation here for everybody. I like to do affirmations. And let's, to make sure we keep our mindset right. This one is going to be based on Matthew chapter 6. Not to be anxious. That is what this affirmation is focused on here today. I will not be anxious because my Father provides for me. The God who cares for the birds will also care for me. I do not trade from fear, pressure, or panic. I trust His provision, His timing, His peace. I show up with faith, do my part, and leave the outcome in His hands. Guys, the Lord's been talking to me about the birds of the air. They neither sow nor reap, okay? They don't sow or reap. They literally exist. And the Lord says in His word that He provides for them. Look at that drop. I'm glad I closed. That makes me happy. But think about this, what do those birds do? They're constantly scavenging for food. They're constantly caring for their younglings. And they're constantly keeping an eye out for danger. Those are the 3 things. They're keeping an eye out for danger to protect themselves. But the Bible says they're not sowing or reaping, but they're being diligent. How much more will the Father provide for you for the one that He loves? In a previous verse, the Bible says that you can't have 2 masters. You can't serve God and money. We have to surrender ourselves to Christ, let go of the love of money, and pursue Him. And as we pursue Him and seek His righteousness, He takes care of everything else. What does that look like? It means as I'm in front of the charts, I'm going to walk out the fruits of the Spirit that the Bible talks about in front of my charts. I'm going to be patient. I'm not going to be anxious. I'm not going to have lust or greed for anything that I'm seeing. And I'm going to walk out the fruits of the Spirit here in front of the charts. As I do those things, and as I act as a bird does, looks for food or is diligent, it watches out for danger, you protect yourself from major failure, stop loss, max trades per day, you're going to see the provision of the Lord in your life. These are spiritual principles, and they apply not only in trading, but they apply in every area of your life. So that's why it applies to trading. Trading is just a blip on the radar of your life, and it applies to that. So I pray this blesses you guys and that you're encouraged in the Lord in this. With that, guys, we're going to call it a day. God bless you. Thanks for hanging out with me. We will see you all here tomorrow. God bless. Bye-bye.
Spider-Man. Like walking down the street once that film came out must have been crazy.
Yeah, it was interesting. After Spider-Man 1 came out, I thought like, oh, this is it. Like, this is fame. This is as big as it gets. Like, you get recognized everywhere you go. And I was sort of thought to myself like, oh, I've arrived now. And then Spider-Man 2 came out, and it got even crazier. And you're like, oh wow, I didn't realize it could get a bit more crazier than this. And then Spider-Man 3 came out, and that's when I was like, I think I need a security guard.
But how do you handle that? Because that's a level of fame that's I couldn't comprehend on any level.
I think that's where Zendaya and I have been such a like strong couple. Is in the spirit of being able to relate with one another on something that is very, very unique.
Yeah.
Spider-Man. Like walking down the street once that film came out must have been crazy.
The United States and Saudi Arabia now have joined forces to strike Iran-backed terror sites in Iraq after the regime launched a surprise missile attack on American troops in the region who were traveling to Jordan.
The commander-in-chief now weighing next steps after holding high-stakes meetings with world leaders at the White House.
So Chief Foreign Correspondent Trey Yingst is live in Tel Aviv with all the action. All right, Trey, make sense of it.
Yeah, hey guys, good morning. Overnight, Iran launched a surprise attack against U.S. forces in Jordan. At least 5 missiles were fired by Iran, breaking the lull in fighting over the past several days. CENTCOM released a statement saying at 5:45 p.m. Eastern Time today, Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps forces launched multiple ballistic missiles from Iran in an attempted surprise attack on U.S. forces based in the Middle East. All Iranian missiles were successfully intercepted. U.S. forces remain vigilant and at a high state of readiness. The United States has not yet responded to that attack, but overnight, U.S. and Saudi planes conducted a series of airstrikes against Iran-backed Shia militias in Iraq, who were responsible for 30 drone attacks over the past 3 days. On those strikes, CENTCOM said the unwarranted attacks against U.S. forces were not successful. From February through April 2026, there were more than 600 attempted attacks on U.S. citizens and facilities by Iran-aligned terrorist militias in Iraq. The IRGC and its terrorist proxies must cease these attacks to avoid further U.S. military response. This kinetic action in the Middle East comes as reports indicate Iran has rejected an Omani proposal to reopen the Strait of Hormuz. On Tuesday, President Trump held a meeting with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu as the pair decide the next steps in the war with Iran.
Look at this regime today. It's attacking everybody in sight. It's attacking Saudi Arabia. It's attacking Kuwait. It's attacking Bahrain. It's attacking the UAE and others. It's attacking everything in sight, and it murdered and maimed tens of thousands of its own citizens. This is what this regime in Iran does today when it doesn't have nuclear weapons. Now imagine what they will do to the world if they had nuclear weapons. And that's what we have to make sure that we prevent.
With no diplomatic breakthroughs, the region may see more intense fighting in the days ahead. Guys?
So Trey, whatever truce we were under, whatever talks may have been taking place, it didn't seem to matter. But the IRGC says it's wrong to assume that we told the Iraqi militia to rocket U.S. interests or Saudi interests. They don't expect us to buy that they would act independently, do you? Do they really expect that statement to fly?
Even if the IRGC was telling the truth, and in this case they are not, the next question would be, why did you launch 5 ballistic missiles at U.S. forces overnight after the president offered you another negotiation window?
Right.
But when it comes to the proxy groups across the region, the IRGC has direct control and funding of these organizations, not just these Shia militias in Iraq, but also the Houthis in Yemen and the threats that they have made against the Bab al-Mandab Strait, this entrance to the Red Sea. And so while the Iranians continue to say that they are looking for some sort of negotiated settlement, the reality on the ground is quite different. And again, this strike overnight is significant, these airstrikes against these militia groups. It is not unexpected given the number of drones that were launched over the past 72 hours. But really the focus here is on that missile attack overnight against U.S. forces in Jordan. Remember, earlier this month, 3 American service members were killed in Jordan by these exact Iranian ballistic missiles. And that is exactly what they were trying to do overnight, kill more American soldiers. And according to CENTCOM, those missiles were intercepted.
And Trey, what is new about today's news is the fact that Saudi Arabia, this is the first time Saudi Arabia has really gotten involved in this. And they say they don't want a further escalation, but they just want to be able to protect their energy infrastructure. So, I mean, that's quite a message to Iran from the kingdom. Hey, don't screw with us, guys.
You really do have to consider the calculation here, because the firepower from the United States and Saudi Arabia greatly outweighs the ability for these Iran-backed Iraqi Shia militias to actually defend against any incoming attacks. But yet they are still launching drones, not just at Saudi Arabia, but also U.S. forces in the region and Israel. The Israelis say they shot down over the past several days a number of drones along the border with Jordan. And it gives you a sense of what these drones threaten. And remember, there was another U.S. service member killed when they were disarming one of these drones in northern Iraq. And so there are a lot of moving parts here, but the proxy forces of the Iranian regime have been directly attached to officials in Tehran. Remember, last week, President Trump issued a warning to the Houthis in Yemen, and he said if you launch missile or drone attacks against shipping vessels in the Red Sea, then not only will the Houthis pay a price, but also the Iranian regime. And so we are likely to see an escalation here in the response from U.S. forces, Saudi forces, and others, because they want to send a clear message to Iran that whether you attack from your own territory or you use your proxies in the region, there will be a price to pay.
Yeah.
Trey, we're talking about the military aspect of this war, but there's also been a great financial strain to Iran, both with the naval blockades as well as the war itself. How sustainable is that financial strain for Iran?
It's not very sustainable at all, and that's why the Iranians are painted in a corner here. They have to make some sort of decision, and it's a binary decision. They're either going to return to war with the United States of America, or they're going to sign a negotiated settlement that addresses opening the Strait of Hormuz and their nuclear ambitions. And that is why the region is such at a critical point right now, and why that meeting yesterday in the Oval Office between President Trump and Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu was so significant. The Iranians are economically suffering as a result of the U.S. naval blockade of their ports. They are losing hundreds of millions of dollars each and every day. Inflation is rapidly rising in Iran. We have heard from Iranian civilians who are having trouble keeping their businesses open. Yeah. The IRGC reportedly cannot even pay its own soldiers as a result of the lost funds, because they're not able to export their critical thing, and that is oil. And as a result of this U.S. naval blockade, they are being choked off economically. And they're in a position now where they have to make a decision. Are they going to sign a negotiated settlement or return to war?
Good question. All right, Trade, reporting live from the region. Thank you very much for joining us live.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube, and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.
Denny. Just kidding. Michigan Senate